All right, we're back with another quick deck tech from Midwest DBS. We had a win box tournament at our shop yesterday, and I'm gonna give you the deck that placed second. I did not play it. I lent it out to my buddy Tristan to play, and he ended up finishing second, losing in the finals. I'm gonna go over it real quick. So he played hatchhyack. This deck is pretty annoying. It has a built-in Nimbus effect that affects both players, and the only cards that are unaffected by it is anything more than 7. So anything below 7 energy is affected by it. So against this deck, if you do have cards that are below 7, it's important that they have like dual attack or even triple attacks, even better. But this deck is basically it's really annoying to play around. What he does is his activate main, where you put the top card of your deck underneath him and you draw a card. Once you have 3 cards underneath him, those cards go to the drop, and then you can awaken. And then when he's awakened, he still has a Nimbus effect on the other side. When he swings, he draws a card, and also for the duration of turn, he gets 5,000. So he's just a 20,000 leader swing. So you just keep swinging and forcing them basically to combo out, because most leaders on the defensive side are just always 15. So you just keep swinging, forcing cards out of their hand if they don't want to take damage. So we're gonna go first. First off, we have our little skillless engine. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that this deck is playing the skillless engine. Basically, almost any of the black leaders. Like if you're playing Toa, you run the skillless engine. If you're playing Demigra, you don't have to, but it's the skillless engine is good in Demigra as well, and of course it's good in Kid Goku. Basically, if you're playing a black deck, the skillless engine is just really good in about any black deck, especially defensive decks, because this is what you're looking for turn one. Because you just grab this, you search out one of these, and then either you can have this always on the defensive, so your leader doesn't take life for combo power, or when your leader's swinging and awaken for 20, basically you can push 25k every turn with this ball, looping it with the Kid Goku. Of course, since we're running those, we did run two 20k beaters to search out. This is just 20k beater. It has no combo power, which sometimes sucks, but it is a 20k beater, so it can play offensively and play defensively by clearing boards. By cards that they attack with, you can clear them out. But a lot of times you're not too worried about clearing out boards of this deck, since they can only attack with so many cards anyways. Now we're going to go through a couple negates. We got 4 Power Burst, just pretty good in black deck, and we have 4 Son Goku making an entrance. So 8 negates. But sometimes this turns into more negates. I'll explain real quick. So sometimes you're baiting out, you're negating with this. And also sometimes, as the game goes on, you're just comboing this for 0. It has a 0 cost combo. But the reason why you do that, so after you combo that with 0, later on, you can Power Burst and then bring this back. So you can kind of loop your Power Burst in these to create more negates, which is really good. It really just shuts down a lot of decks between the leader's ability and then just being able to loop Son Goku make an entrance Power Burst. Power Burst is also relevant target as Kid Goku if they get rid of that. Next, we got Crisis Crusher. Crisis Crusher is just good for early game. It's just to stop 1-drops. So if they play a 1-drop on their first turn and it goes to your turn, you can play this for 1 energy and pop it. Or a lot of times, if you just have a clear board, you can still play it for 1 energy and pop it and be combo power later, and it'll be able to stop any 1-drops they have coming in the rest of the time. One card I might cut is the Deadly Defender. I did run 1 Deadly Defender Goku. I might bring it up to 3 Crisis Crushers. What this does when it attacks and it's in rest mode, they have to attack this instead of your leader. So with the Nimbus effect, sometimes if you have this out, they just waste their attack against this, and if you can protect this, basically you can keep it from swinging at your leader. And this is in there in case they do get some really threatening, crazy bomb out, because like there are like 8-drops that can swing through, or says they have double attack or triple attack, and that's the reason why I put this in there, because it would soak up some of those attacks. It's also the Xeno Goku, which is relevant. So we have, let me see, these are Xeno Gokus. So we have 7, and we have the Xeno Evolved Goku. So far, this is the only deck that I've seen that this card would be relevant in. I mean, it's a double strike 25k that you can evolve onto a Xenogoku if you have to have more than 3 energy. If you have 3 or less energy, you can't do it. So turn 4 is the earliest you're doing it. A lot of times you're just doing it later. And it has a cool ability. You can choose up to 4 battle cards in your warp and place them in your drop. This deck does run Overwhelm, and the way to get some of that back is with this. Because sometimes you might warp a 4-star ball. With your Kid Goku, you need it back. You can bring it back with that. Some of these might go to the warp, then you want it back in your drop for Power Burst, or you just want it back to fill your Overwhelm again. So this card is actually pretty good in this deck because it allows you to play more toolboxy and throw cards in your warp, either to, from your warp to your drop, either to fuel more Overwhelm or to make Power Burst get cards you want back, or to bring a 4-star ball. It's running Dark Planet. I talked to him. This is one card he said he did not like in the deck too much because this does run a... Sorry, I'm a little shaky. Ghost Warrior package. And what this does, when this card is placed in the battle area, you choose up to one of your Ghost Warrior cards in your deck and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. If your card is a leader Black Machine Mutant, which it is, at the end of your turn, you place 2 cards on the top of your deck into your drop. So this could fuel your Overwhelm even more, and it can let you tutor up certain Ghost Warriors that you might need at a certain time. I'll go over some of those. So this one, this Ghost Warrior keeps... It's to punish players that want to restand energy on their active turn, and when it comes to play, draws a card so it replaces itself. They basically have to choose 5 cards from their drop and add them to their warp. If they want to do that, some decks don't care, so it doesn't do much, but some decks really want to add up to drop so they can have a big Overwhelm target to hit you with. And if you catch them slipping and they restand energy on their turn, you can force them to send cards from their drop to their warp. The other Ghost Warrior, it's Frieza. Sorry, that light is obnoxious. Is a one of. All the Ghost Warriors have this ability that if it's a Black Machine Mutant, you can choose 3 battle cards and their energy between 3 and 7 in your drop, and you place them at the bottom of your deck and you play it from your hand. So they all of them can play for free with that ability, and then they all have little niche abilities. This one, you can choose up to one of your opponent's cards ignoring barrier and switch it to rest mode. I just had one of these because I don't think you ever ran into the situation, but I like to have one just in case there is something annoying with barrier that you want to switch to rest mode. So you can swing it down, and this would be the card to do it. Lord Slug is probably the best Ghost Warrior because he just takes... He basically just hits anything. You place it in your in its owner's drop. That's its activate main. And you choose one of your opponent's battle cards' energy cost greater than or equal to your opponent's energy and send it to warp. So it hits the cards that they're playing on curve, or it hits big guys that they're trying to accelerate out, like through evolve or just through ramp. So it has a lot of different... It can hit... Basically, this just hit big dudes and guys on curve, which those are the guys that'll push damage against this deck anyways. One cooler. What he does is you place this card in its owner's drop just like other ones, and you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and give it a minus 10k for additional turns, so it can pop little guys. Here's one of our blockers. I already showed you the Xeno Goku. He was a blocker. Sorry, I gotta move. It's light. I'm sorry. He's a 3-drop, but basically, realistically, he's a 2-drop. Because what you do is activate main 2. You can place this... if your leader card is Black Machine Mutant, which it is, you can play this card from your drop. And also when you play this cop, you take 2 cards from the top of your deck and place it in your drop so it can fuel your Overwhelm or fuel more cards that are targets for Ghost Warriors so you can bring them out for free. So basically he's a 2-drop blocker. So that's good. And you want some blockers... Because the idea is this, with the Nimbus effect and a combination of blockers, you're just going to keep them from being able to push damage through. Now, Super Kamehameha. This card is really good, but it depends on your situation. Sometimes you actually are trying to get your life lowered to 4 just so you can take advantage of this. Because if you don't, you won't be able to use this card because you basically have to have 4 or less life to use it. So it depends on your style. Sometimes you just want to protect every single bit of life, and a lot of times just be in charge for energy at that point. Or some decks could just push you down to 4, and then once this is live, this is an extra layer of protection if they do push you down to 4, because then this just becomes live, and this card is just really good. So, I mean, basically it's a counterplay, and it counterplays the energy card to 3 or less, and it sends it directly to the warp instead of being played. So any effects it has when it comes into play just don't happen because it just goes basically, they're playing it, goes directly into the warp. Another extra card. I like one of this in the main. It's a remote serious bomb, and basically your opponent gets to choose one of their battle cards and send it to the warp. It's cheap and it removes the threat. Super combos. You can use this or Roshi. This is the new Robot Roshi. It's not Robot Roshi, but it basically does the same thing that Roshi does. It's super combo, 4 or less life, 0 10k. And draw a card if you have 4 or less life. Next is this blocker. A lot of times you're just trying to get this blocker out for free. It's SS3 Tag Team Gohan. If a black card in your battle is removed by a skill, your skill or opponent's skill, doesn't matter, you get to play this for free. It's a 15k blocker. One Shinron the Wish Granter. Shinron the Wish Granter is Sparking 7. It'll draw 2 cards, and basically this can turn a lot of your smaller threats into lethal threat, because you can give it plus 15k in triple attack. So a lot of times you're using that on him because basically he's a de facto 20 basically when he swings. Then you give another 15k. So that's just pretty nuts. So he's 35. Then if you happen to have a 4-star ball, that's 40. So you swing for a 40k triple striker. So a lot of times opponents get their life down low. This can turn this into a lethal threat. It can also be used in conjunction with, sorry, I got to sort through these cards. Where did I put them at? This, which is also relevant. Since you are running a skillless engine, a lot of times, if you get out your trunks, you can put the 50k on him. So that's already a 35. And then if you dump 4 stars on him, that additional 10 because it's a vanilla card. So this guy can become a closer as well. This card, Black Mass Saiyan, it's an auto Sparking 7, and basically, when you play this card, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to its owner's warp, so it can deal with any threat. You just get to pick any card. Well, you know, if it has barrier, you don't get to do it, but you get to send it automatically. And then if you have a Sparking 7, your leader's Black Witches, you may choose 2 cards in your life. You may choose 2 cards in your life and send it to your owner's warp. If you do so, choose up to one of your opponent's battle card's life and send it to their warp. So if they're sitting at 1, you've protected your life high, and they're trying to get some card advantage, thinking they can protect against your swings because they have the Nimbus effect as well, so they really can't aggro you down, and they're just trying to get life out of cards in their hand out of their life, thinking they're safe, and they go to 1. This can really trip them up. This is just to get any relevant battle card you overwhelm. If you overwhelm a relevant battle card, this can get it right back in your hand. Overwhelms for 2, double strike, and then you get to take a battle card from your warp and add it to your hand. It's really good. This is one of your big closers. Food the Dark Banisher. First off, it's an 8-drop, so the leader's Nimbus effect does not affect it. And basically, it swings 3 times and just does a lot of damage. And anytime they activate a skill, they have to discard a card. Any skill they activate, they have to discard it. If they negate the attack, they have to discard a card. So it's just really good. Leader skills is every skill. I even thought about some situations where I didn't ask him, but sometimes the games is long enough that he just might be able to drop this for 8 and not even overwhelm it. So if he actually just plays it out on 8, it just stays on the board, doesn't go away, and then it can just still has all the keywords. So still has triple attacking if you don't overwhelm it, and still has the ability where if they want to play a skill, they drop a card. And then also, you're in black, you're playing a late game, you're going to get to turn 5. You're going to get beyond turn 5 a lot of times. Actually, most times you're going to get beyond turn 5. You have Beyond Darkness to Meager. This guy just lights out. He's a triple strike, can just knock you down. When he attacks, you immediately look at your opponent's hand, you combo up with the 4 battle cards. So you just get to rip their hand apart. Even if they, the key word, even if they negate the attack, because sometimes you can bring them in and they're like, oh, negate the attack. It doesn't matter. Even if they negate the attack, they're probably losing because you're still going to take 4 cards and combo with them, even if they negate the attack. Well, that's it. I'm not going to go over the sideboard just because sideboard should be different for every meta. It depends on what you see in your meta, which sideboard. But I can't say with this deck, since you're being a mono black, you have a lot of options to some good black cards. The other thing is, in addition, you could play to this deck in the main or the sideboard, which we didn't. You could always play like a Champa. or a battle card you don't plan on playing. Because the deck is restricted to black battle cards only, but it's only black battle cards when you play them. So you can't play like Champa for Double Strike and basically add Double Strike to another card, or just any color card, battle card that you're going to do something else with besides play it. You can play those. That's just an idea out there. So that's it. My buddy Tristan played this, got second, and I will be getting you the first place deck soon. But I'm going to do that with the player himself next time I see him, and that'll be all for today. Thanks. Bye.